So here we go. All right, everybody, it's October 3rd. It's our business builder meeting on Monday night. We just chatted a little bit about some different incentives we can do to try to get our people doing LRPs, and we talked a little bit about maybe doing an incentive for them to order new products in, October, November, December, little incentives you can do for your team to encourage maybe a drawing if they do 125 PV order, or even like a 50 PV order, by the 15th of the month, to encourage that and just talk about the new products. So we just shared a few different ideas for that, but I wanted to talk about Spikenard oil. I do not know a ton about it yet. But I did post on our Facebook page. If you look up Jackie Ritz, R-I-T-Z, in the search box, you'll see that there was like a Periscope. I'm hoping, I don't know if it's still there, but it should be, where she talked about Petitgrain and Spikenard. And so what I remember from Spikenard is that it's a very, very difficult oil to get. This comes from, does anyone remember where it comes from? Convention people? Nepal, right? Nepal, and it's up in the mountains. It's very, very difficult to get this oil, the good Spikenard, okay? And Spikenard was actually used in the Bible. Several references to the Bible. It's nard in the Bible. If you, there's several references where it was used to even wash Jesus's feet. So a very amazing oil, and there's the references. I didn't write them down, but in that post she has the references to Spikenard. So it's been used for a long time. And what I got from the talks, I didn't get to watch all of it yet, is that what's the right word? It makes everything, like if you use like an oil and you use this on top, it makes it even more beneficial. Okay, so it's like almost like a driver per se, like frankincense, but like if you use it, it elevates whatever else you're using. So use the oil and use this too. Not necessarily drives it into the skin, but it just elevates the use of it. So Spikenard, they said at convention, was like the oil for everything. Another like type of frankincense oil, and it's good for the skin. It's good for calming, and it's got kind of a, like you said, patchouli kind of woodsy smell, but very difficult oil to get a pure grade of. And it's very, like I said, it's high up in the mountains. I think they said in the Alps, or like, in Nepal in the mountains. So very good oil. So I'll be learning more about this as we go on, but this would be a good one to put into your definitely into your LRP. And your thoughts on Spikenard? And this obviously is a co-impacting oil, right? Because it comes from Nepal and we're working with them too. So I'll be sharing a little bit more about that. Petitgrain, I haven't read a ton about, but I know it's the men's lavender. It's kind of got more of a woodsy smell, so more of a relaxing smell and more of a masculine smell for relaxation. So there was a post too, and I'll try to find it or write it down. Always when I talk to people, I'm like, that different ones to like diffuse these with. So some diffuser blends with these oils. So that would be some good ways to start using them too. So I'll write that down. I'll try to make a post on that, because someone had put on the Diamond page some different like posts for that. Okay. So tonight is the big customer / advocate talk. They rolled this out at convention. And it's going to be really good. It's going to be really good for organizations. I think it's going to help us as business people determine whether people, are really going to have us to have these conversations right when they enroll, whether they want to be a customer or they want to be an advocate, right? One of the reasons why we're doing it, I'm going to try to get away from that light, is obviously legally, you can't have everybody as a wellness advocate, and that's going to be coming in more like with the law. You can't have everybody doing the business. So I think that's one of the reasons why doTERRA changed it, that they want to have customers and advocates. I know like in Europe, they can't have that already. It's a law. So I think that's one of the major reasons why they are changing it. But also I think it's going to be good for us as business people to ask them, hey, do you think you're just going to be a customer, or do you want to do the business right away? And kind of have that conversation right on, but there's going to be opportunity to move them later on if they want to do the business. And there's a lot of talk right now about if someone does enroll as a customer wellness consultant, you had those 90 days to train them to get ready to launch, right? Because we know it's a lot to do to get them ready to launch, and then you can move them anywhere. Now and I'm going to go over this in a little bit more detail. I'm just kind of saying a few things off the top of my head. If someone does enroll as a customer, they want to go to an advocate right away, like within 14 days, and they're totally rolling, with it, or like 30 days, you don't want to hinder that and say, wait for another 60 days. You want to keep going no matter where they are in your organization. But if it's after 90 days, we can move them anywhere we want. We have the 14-day move to when they upgrade to a wellness advocate. So I'm going to go over some of those things today, but it's really going to be working the benefit of us, of what we're doing. So, and then we'll have questions kind of at the end. Okay. So there is okay. So, wellness, wholesale, what is it? Wellness. I had it pulled up and now I can't remember what I had it was. Was it wellness, customer, diamond, Q&A maybe? Now I can't find the form. Sorry guys, I thought I had it up. Give me 1 minute. My brain's not working as well today. Okay, wellness customer. Here it is. Okay, so if this link you go to right here, it's underneath wellness customer training materials. So if you look up here, wellness customer training materials, and there's a call on it. This is what I posted in our group where you can listen to the call where Rich Higbee and everyone is breaking it down. There is a Q&A where it has all the frequently asked questions. And then there is a comparison. This is what I'm going to kind of talk about this, and then we can go over some questions, okay? So let me just break this down for you. Okay, and I think this is live right now. This is live, so when you go and enroll someone right now, this is already live for customer and wellness advocate. So enrollment fee is this exact same. Wellness customer, wellness advocate, same thing, $35, $35. And enrolling with the kit, same idea, okay? Same. Renewal fee, exact same. Discount, same customer as an advocate. Loyalty rewards points, yes, they get them. Fast track, will you get fast track on them? Yes. When they enroll, you will get fast track on whatever their order's on them, okay? They won't be eligible. If they're a wholesale customer, they can't get fast track because they're not going to make any money, but you will get fast track on them. Will they get shipping rewards? Yes. Will they be eligible for the product promo of the month? Yes, yes. Will they, let's say there's they're enrolling as a wholesale customer, and there was the example of if you enroll with a Cheer and a Motivate and you do 150p enrollment, can you get those for free? Yes, with both of them. If there's an enrollment special, they both get it, either one. Can they participate in like the Jasmine and the Rose incentive? No, obviously not, because they don't enroll people, but obviously wellness advocates can. Personal website, no. They will have a website where they can do their orders, but it's different than the website that we have to enroll people. There's just like an ordering website. But they will log in, but there's just nothing like, all the back office stuff. It's just an ordering website. Can they get bonuses? No. And they cannot have a downline. Obviously, wellness advocates, we can. Can they do the share program? No. Yes, obviously for a wellness advocate. Do they need a tax ID number? No. Do they need the social security number? Now it is required. If they want to do the business wellness advocate, they need the social security number right away. Upline, sponsor, enroller can be indifferent. Same thing. Your upline, moving, everything's the same. Sponsor and enrollment can be different. You still have 14 days to move them, right? 14 days when someone enrolls. For the wellness customer, initial 14-day sponsor move for the enroller, and then an additional 14 days if they upgrade to a wellness advocate after 90 days. So for this example, you enroll someone as a wellness customer. You can put them anywhere in your organization, okay? Put them in where you think that they're going to fit, probably going to help you out for a bonus. You want to put them where they're going to be orderers, so you want to stick them. You don't want to put them in a builder spot, right? You don't want to put them in your top line or probably even your second line, but probably more your third line filling in your bonuses. Now, if after 90 days they decide they want to become a wellness advocate, they can upgrade them and you get another 14 days to move them. So that's great. So if they upgrade to a wellness advocate before 90 days, they have to stay where they're at. But if it's after 90 days, you have another chance to move someone. So let's say you put someone down on the 4th level, filling in a bonus, but then they're like, hey, I want to do the business. Then you can move them to your top line if you want to, or a different spot, but it has to be 90 days. Inactive moves, same thing. If they haven't done anything for 6 months, you can move them anywhere. Gifting enrollments. So I'm not going to get too much into this, but the enrollment can be gifted at any time. So let's say like I gift my enrollment to Laura. That's the once per time. Now, sometimes they might gift it right back to the enroller. That's still the same, but don't worry too much about the gifting part. Same, you can't have a husband and wife. You can't have a wholesale customer and a wellness advocate account. You know, it has to be just one person. Fast Start still paid out the same. Unilevel still paid out the same. They can help you they can help you qualify for your loyalty rewards. In your Power of 3. There are there's different simplified customer terms now versus the wellness advocate, because obviously if the wellness advocate, they're making money and there's all kinds of different terms on that form. It's definitely more simplified for the wellness customer. Can a wellness customer resell product? No. Although I don't know how they would really track that. Like if a wholesale customer bought some lavender and then gave it to their friend, but obviously not supposed to be doing that. Wellness advocates, we can. And then they have a shop tab. They'll have a message center and profile settings, but then we'll have all access to all kinds of content for the wellness advocate. So that's a lot of information. So I'm going to stop right there and come back to you guys because I can't see you. What questions based on that do you have? Are you thinking? It's a lot of information, a lot to digest. I've been kind of digesting it for a week or so here since convention actually, but really kind of looking into it this week. What questions do you have? Wow, isn't that clear?
I watched that video before the meeting, so it seems pretty explanatory. And then I think the only thing you probably didn't say is when you want to upgrade, there's like a tab on their page that they can just click on and then add their social security number. It's like in the upper right-hand corner, it showed.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, thanks, Stephanie. So they can upgrade at any time. And there's she's got a little tab on their little shop page that says upgrade to a wellness advocate. They click on that, they put their social security number. And they could downgrade back again if they wanted to a wellness customer at any time too. But what we want to do is if we think someone wants to upgrade and we're talking to them, we might want to say, hey, we don't want to stop them if they're have all these classes and things built, but we can, if they're close to the 90 day and we want to move them to a different part on our team, we might say hey, do you want to wait 20 days and I'll move you to a better part of my organization where you'd be in more of a builder spot. You can do that if you want. What doTERRA has done is, this is getting a little confusing, but you can build a ghost leg where you put in some random family member and then you build underneath the ghost leg. You could put people that she has at the class and you could then you could later put her into that spot and transfer the other person out. So that could be one thing that you do. So basically it's let's say this person's down there and you want her really on your top line. She wants to start having a ton of classes. What you would do is you would just randomly enroll somebody, like a family member on your top line. And you could start putting, it's still kind of tricky. You could put people underneath that ghost leg, underneath that person, then you're going to, after the 90-day, move her up there. And then she's going to get then she'll have all the enrollments of all her people or their people. That gets a little tricky, but does that kind of make sense? You guys are kind of looking at me like, what? I mean, that would be like, because obviously, if let's say someone's like on your 7th line and she's like, oh, I want to do the business, and all of a sudden it's not the 90 days, but it's close to it. And she's really striking and she wants to have a lot of classes, and all of a sudden she's enrolling a bunch of people, then she's going to stay there. What you could do is just enroll a random person for like $35, like your family member, and keep them there, and then just start floating all of her people that she's enrolling underneath there, although you'd have to do the enrollment, put them underneath her. That's where it gets a little sticky. And then after the 90 days, you could transfer her into that spot and take the other person out, and all those people would be underneath her that you structured. If it's going to be like a massive builder for your team or something, and then the enrollments would all transfer to her after that person would go in there. So the fast starts would go to obviously the persons who are enrolling. So that gets a little sticky. I wouldn't really recommend that, but it's an option. A lot of people in doTERRA have ghost legs. I know I haven't talked a lot about that. But what they have is they have like just a random family member or someone that's not really interested in the business, and they're building underneath that. So when they do get the builder, they just put them in that spot. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So they're just building that because they have to build under somebody. You have to build under something, like, so Tiffany has her mother, or actually your sister, right?
Sure, yeah.
And she's building underneath it because she wants to build under something until she finds a builder, and then they're going to click her out of that spot because her mom really doesn't want to do the business. If you put someone in there that is doing the business, or like not doing the business but an order, well, they might not ever want to move from that spot if they start getting paid, right? But if you do like a family member or someone like your mom or your mother-in-law that like never wants to do the business anyways, you're just getting the name in there until you can find someone, then you can pop them in and you can start building your organization. Because what are you going to do? Keep building like a top line of like 800 people, so you have to start building somewhere, and you want to build under somebody that makes sense. So that's why you might build a ghost leg per se. Some people are even building ghost legs for their children. So when their child turns 18, they put their child in that leg, and then the child's going to make all the income, right? Now, do you really want to do that? If your child's not going to do the business, that's up to you, your own thing personally. But it's another way that people are doing things. So this is getting like a little bit past the whole customer advocate thing, but just something important. I haven't done it, so.
Yeah, I'm more interested in the near term of everyone that's going to be changed to a wholesale customer.
So here's what's going to happen. Go ahead. Do you want me to tell you
and questions that they will have? They're going to get an email from doTERRA.
So what's going to happen is, over the next year, obviously, so it's not all flooded at once. On their renewal month, they will get an email from doTERRA saying you have the ability to, downgrade to, these are only people that have nobody underneath them and they've never enrolled anybody, right? This is not anybody that has anybody underneath them or has enrolled people. They don't have the ability to go down to a wholesale customer, okay? Because they could make income. So these are people on your team that have never enrolled anybody and never have anybody underneath them. They'll get an email from doTERRA saying that you can downgrade to a wholesale customer. Okay, so then they can stay a wellness advocate if they want, or they can downgrade to a wholesale customer. doTERRA will automatically downgrade them to a wholesale customer if they do not reply. But they could just go back and upgrade to a wellness advocate at any time. It's not a big deal. This is, again, probably for doTERRA's sake of making sure there's customers and advocates and making sure people are in the right thing. Now, if they want to upgrade to a wellness advocate, obviously they need to give their social security number. That's kind of be for new people coming in. So here's the cool thing. I have 10 minutes here. Yikes. Okay. We could always go on to we could do it again if we need another call. If this is where I'm not 100% clear, but here I think is where it's going to be beneficial. If someone is a wellness advocate, They have no one underneath them. They've never enrolled anyone, and they downgrade to a wholesale customer. Then after 90 days, they can upgrade to a wellness advocate again, and then we have 14 days to move them anywhere in our organization. So that's where, let's say you have someone down on your 5th or 6th level that's just ordering a lot, but it's not really helping you with your bonus or not really helping anything, and they don't have anybody underneath them. Like I'm thinking Carrie on your team, Laura, I don't think there's anybody underneath Carrie. She does like a $200 order every month. So she downgrades at her enrollment month, which let's say is October, let's just per se, like just to say it. They downgrade her, and then in 90 days you say, hey, Carrie, can we upgrade you to a wellness advocate so I can get you in a better spot on my team? And then you have 14 days to move wherever you want. That's my understanding, but I'm not 100% sure on that.
Well, see, I was kind of half listening to that video.
Yeah.
And I thought it was when they changed to a wholesale customer, you have 90 days. After 90 days, there's a 14-day period.
Yes.
That you can move them.
Okay, I said it
as
wrong.
a wholesale customer.
Yes, I'm sorry. You don't have to upgrade to a wellness advocate. You can stay the wholesale customer, and you have 90 days to move them.
Right. So when they change, nothing happens right away. But I'm just wondering, how do we track this?
So I
Because
think
then you've got 14 days, 90 days from now.
yes. So I think what you're going to have to do is pull, and I think under our accounts you can see like when the renewal date is for everybody, and then you could print that out, and then it's just going to happen. But then you could mark out 90 days when that's going to be for those people, and then contact them.
I think the video said something, they're going to send an email out when it's renewal time or something like that.
To the person, to the actual person, but us as leaders, we don't know. So I think there's got to be somewhere in our back office. Kelly, you're my back office girl. Is there a place that we can look up renewal dates?
I have a place on my
Detailed, right?
my detail that says the enrollment date. But I think what maybe Tiffany, what I was thinking of too was that there is going to be notification to wellness advocates if somebody does upgrade from a customer to a wellness advocate. We will be notified.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
They said that. Yeah, they said that in the video. So we will get notification that make it up. Jane decided on her own to click that button in the upper right-hand corner.
Yeah, that makes sense because we have 14 days to move them at that point too.
Right. So we had to somehow he said very clearly, so we wanted to make sure you were aware. We're hoping that you'll, maintain that relationship and sort of navigate those waters with them.
Yeah. And it makes total sense for me moving forward. Like, obviously it makes sense. Like, hey, what do you want to be, a customer or an advocate? That's great. We can have that conversation right away. And you can say, hey, if you decide you want to do the business, this is like, we have these 90 days and I can move you anywhere, or we can start doing it anytime. I love that we can have that conversation earlier. My questions are more like Laura said, like backtracking, moving all this from wellness advocates to customers and being able to move them, from there. So I think that's basically I don't know if there's a spot in the back office that we can like look up renewal dates and then just know who's getting downgraded and then talk to them individually. I feel like that's the only way we can do it, right? Is know when their renewal date is, look at where their 90 days is, and then talk to them. Because obviously if they're downgrading, it might be a good time to have a conversation with them. Do you think you want to do the business at this point? Yes or no? You want to stay a customer, blah, blah, blah. And then say, I just want to move you to a really good spot in my organization for support and for my team.
And can't they upgrade and downgrade at any time?
They can, yeah.
Right. So even if they don't decide, forget the 90-day thing, let's just say they randomly are like, oh, I'm going to move down. They, choose to do that on their own. To Laura's point, how will we know that? I'm hoping that on our detail, we're going to see somehow that their stats change.
Yeah, it's coded. It's going to be a different color for, I think it's going to be back to a different color. And then it's going to be coded. I think it's going to be coded. I remember they said that on one of on the calls. It's going to be coded different.
Yeah, but also
W for a wholesale customer.
Yeah, it's like D is for us because we're distributors, and I think it's like WC or C for customer or something like that.
W, it was.
W, okay.
To Kelly's question though, they said in this first year, just to keep it organized, people can only change in their renewal month when they get notified. So there'll be a
Yeah.
wave of it, not everyone trying to do everything at once.
Right. And you
Be
can,
more organized.
and for us, we can only make one move of them. Like we can't like move them and another and then they move again and have another 14 days. We have like one move.
Right.
So like after they upgrade or downgrade, we have that 14 days. And then like, then if they downgrade again, we don't get another 14 days. It's like a one-time thing, like a one-time move.
Yeah.
So really where I feel is going to help on like us is like if we have nobody enrolled and nobody underneath them, it's going to help fill in the holes for our bonuses and get them in a better spot. And I also think moving forward, it's going to help us have that conversation, whether what they want to be and where to put them, you know? And then later on, like we know we have people like Tiffany, for example, she probably did come to me 90 days later, like, I want to do the business. I'd be like, oh my gosh, I'm moving to my top line. Let's go. You know, so that's a good thing. And in the Diamond group, they're putting together, like, when you enroll someone as a wellness customer, what are the 3 months of things we can send them if they're interested in the business? Like the first 30 days, get to know your products. The next 30 days, here's a little bit about the business. Next 30 days, here's how to launch your business. Like get you like a 90-day, like get ready to do your business. So they're kind of putting together some things for that. So that's pretty cool too. So that's like a lot of information to digest for sure.
Yeah.
What other questions came up? Does anybody see, like, have people in their head like, oh yeah, if they do downgrade, I know, or do you know you have a couple people that are ordering that $100 RP and there's no one underneath them, they'd be in a better spot for your team?
Yeah, I think it's great for people that are ordering that we put under people that
Yeah.
really aren't doing the business. Now we could move them somewhere where it will help.
Yeah. So my only question is for sure is that I'm not 100% sure about I'm pretty sure that if they are a wellness advocate, they go to a WC customer, and then the 90 days that we can move them. I'm pretty sure we have that. We have after 90 days, we can move them. We have 14, after the 90 days, we can just move them anywhere. That's like, I'm a little bit fuzzy. Did you get that we can do that?
So say that again, because I didn't know.
Like, so current people in our organization, if they're a wellness advocate, then on their renewal month, they downgrade because they just want to keep being a customer. And then after the 90 days, we can move them anywhere we want.
Within 14 days of that 90 days.
Yes.
Yeah, I have a note that says that if they upgrade after 90 days, or if they change after 90 days, then they can be moved anywhere within 14 days of that 90 days.
Okay.
But if they...
Yeah, and they said like on the call, like they're doing the 90 days, so it's not going to mess with a lot of people's bonuses and times and all that kind of stuff, which makes sense. And by that time, 90 days, they know like kind of where they're at in your organization too.
But if they choose to upgrade before the 90 days is up and they do that on their own, then there's no moving them. Wherever they are is where they are.
Correct. So that's why we kind of want to be in touch with these people, right? Because especially the new people, like when we enroll them as a wellness, customer, we want to say, if you think you want to do the business, let's talk and talk about the 90-day strategy. Like if they are going to go gung-ho, where we can put them in a different part, after 90 days and getting them ready to launch versus, obviously it sounds like I'm ready to go. I have like tons of classes, like just go, go with it wherever they are, but like kind of have more of a strategy of where the business might be. And then I think then keeping track of when the renewal dates are of our old people, our wellness advocates, and knowing when their 90 days is up. So it's pretty cool. It's a pretty good opportunity. I think that everyone's pretty excited overall for doTERRA because we can get better placements of things and you can have that conversation. And I think what they're trying to do too is realize that after 90 days, or get people, the 14-day placement strategy is so short that they are realizing that the 90 days will give people a little extra time with people that decide like, oh, they're using the oils now, they want to